Hi everyone, or welcome back. And if you are new here, then my name is Agnes. And in these monthly postpartum updates, I'm sharing my postpartum experience, how baby is developing, how these changes impact us, parents, and how I'm feeling and recovering physically and emotionally after birth. I really enjoying to make this series of my postpartum monthly updates because it helps me to reflect how my baby is developing and also see what changes are in my personal postpartum journey. And I hope that sharing my experience also will help you to see that each postpartum journey can be different. It's not always a magical and perfect, but it's not always difficult and overwhelming either. It's a mix of beautiful moments and challenges and everything between. So today I want to share with you what happened last month, what was 5th month in our postpartum journey. From doctor appointment and new milestones to feeding, sleeping, motherhood, and my own postpartum journey. So let's start with Olivia. One of the biggest things what we had last month was Olivia's appointment to neurologist. Here in Latvia it's common that we don't have dedicated baby doctors. The doctor what I had as child I still have, and because of that there is not specific like baby pediatrician. Sometimes doctors send baby to neurologist to have this double check if baby developing everything seems good. The good news that everything looks great in her development. Both neurologist and pediatrician what we have for Olivia said that she is developing by her age. Only thing what they noticed that she have extra muscle tones in her shoulder, but also that can disappear by itself. The reason for that is that she tried to see what is around her, so she trying to make these stomach crunches and pull herself in this sitting position to discover the world. And when she will naturally see, muscle tone should disappear by itself. So there wasn't any need to go to special massages or some another treatment. So now we're just monitoring how she is developing. And of course I asked also to neurologist question what was bothering me for the weeks. Can we allow Olivia to sit? Because now when I'm sitting myself and taking her to my arms, she tries also sit, and she are like small, and so she are now 5 months, and on that moment she was like 4.5. The neurologist advised us to not train Olivia to sit. However, if she naturally pulls herself into a sitting position while supported, that it's okay for short time period. So now we're trying to find this balance between allowing her sit and not rushing her development. She also was referred to head/brain ultrasonography. Not sure how correctly to explain that. At first, when doctor said that she needs this additional research, I was a bit like scared, like not a bit, like a lot, because I have this anxiety maybe with my baby, something wasn't right. And I immediately asked neurologist why that's way, because my first daughter, she didn't have this kind of appointment with doctor, and that's why I want to double check, is everything okay? And neurologist calmed me down and said that is good practice while she had this soft spot in her head, so we can double check, is everything okay? Thankfully on ultrasonography everything was like really good, so there are no worries for me anymore. One of the things really stood out me during these appointments was how different my experience felt compared to when I had my first daughter. The hospital itself has changed so much. Everything feels modern, bright and welcoming. I think that kids nowadays won't experience anymore those green walls, scary atmospheres what hospitals had when I was the kid. But honestly, the biggest difference was the doctor. So she was around my age, so she was from those who are learning and study medicine nowadays, so really fresh. She was really warm and welcoming. First thing what she did with Olivia, she made this contact before she tried another things. And I remember having appointment with my first daughter, and there was this old lady who was in this rush, so she need to check baby like really fast. And after this appointment I felt judged, discouraged as parents, and I remember these bad experience, and this time was completely different. As a parents, we already have enough worry, and having healthcare professional who makes you feel supported instead of criticized makes so much difference. I also noticed some really funny thing about myself. So during ultrasonography, Olivia should be like really still. I was playing with her hands, singing, and do everything that her attention are on me, and she is looking on one point, like basically on me. With my first daughter, I didn't do something like that during our doctor appointment, because I feel ashamed that I can look a bit childish, because your mom, you need to be serious. I don't know where I have this idea in my head, and I think maybe it's because that on that time I look younger than honestly I was, because usually people think that I'm like 5 years younger, and if you had like baby and you look that you just finished like school, then there's like this some issue that you want to represent yourself as adult. And so even in some doctor appointment, but I need to be a this bit silly mom, I felt that I need to be like this professional, this serious one. But now I don't care how people will look at me. I've learned that sometimes you need to be a bit silly to make your baby be calm with you and do not think what others will think about you. This month was huge on movements. Previous month, Olivia could roll only to one side, and now she's rolling to both sides and also from her tummy to back. What surprised me most is how gradual this process was. People often say my baby rolled over, like it happens at single day. But for us, it's more look like first one side, then 3 weeks later, other side, then another 3 weeks later, she roll from tummy to her back. Then suddenly everything connected together. Unfortunately, these new skills also affected her sleep, and now when she can roll to both sides even more than previous month. So Olivia trying to roll her over during the night, but she too sleepy and it wakes her up. So she starts to cry, and I need to come to her crib, check if she okay, and then to put her in the side position. There also have been night when I was looking in the crib, and in position when usually are her head, I found her leg. So she not only tries to roll over, but also to roll like around herself in the crib. Sometimes also she sleeps on her tummy. The first time when I saw that she's sleeping on her tummy, I was so scared, because you everywhere hear this information that baby needs to sleep on her back, only her back. Safest way to sleep for baby is on their back. And then I see she's sleeping on her tummy, and I'm so scared. But I found information that if baby rolls over by themselves on the tummy, then it's safe for them. So we as parents, we can't place baby on their tummies, but if they roll over by themselves to tummy, then it's like perfectly fine and good. But still I feel not comfortable with it, and I'm more frequently waking up to check are still she's sleeping, are she still breathing. So for me, this new change made me a bit anxious. Okay, maybe not a bit, a lot. Overall, Olivia's sleep is not amazing. Although she don't have sleep progression, because during the sleep progression she was waking up each hour, then now she's waking up like maybe like 3 to 4 times at night, and 1 or 2 times are for the feeding, and some of them is because she wants to roll over. And also her naps during the day sometimes are shorter than I was expecting. So sometimes she during the day sleep shorter time period than usually, and then she come back to these longer naps. So also there we have some changes. As she now sleeping poorly, for me it's harder to be recovered, and that's why now at least once a week with my husband we having this night shift. So there's the nights when we all sleeping in one room, so both of us can wake up during the night and check on the Olivia. Then there are nights when I'm sleeping alone and he taking night shift with Olivia, and then are nights when we change it and I'm taking night shift with Olivia and he sleeping alone, because I think for him also is important to get this night sleep because he is going to the work. And so here I think it's very important for couple to work as team, that you both need this rest because you all are making your impact to your family. Yes, now I'm more time with Olivia and from that I'm exhausted, but he is main person who is working, and also he are more often with our older daughter. Since summer arrived, we have some changes in Olivia's routine and wardrobe. First, her wardrobe have been a big change, so now she more wearing short sleeve bodysuits and also rompers. And if for the newborns I didn't like rompers like at all, then now at her age I really enjoy to put rompers. I found my preference in rompers. So there are some rompers that have buttons or zippers through all outfit, then that I actually prefer less. I love those ones who have these few buttons on her neck and few buttons or her bottom, because when you need to just open these few buttons bottom, it's much easier to change diapers, because those who have buttons through all outfit, then I need almost like open them all to change the diapers, especially during the day. It's not so easy and convenient, especially when she is starting to roll over, because changing her diapers, it's now much harder because I trying to change her and she's starting to roll over to another side. So for me now it's like new challenge in this season of her development. And regarding to rompers, I know that there are some babies who don't like that something is pulled over their head. Then the romper with buttons or zipper will be your go-to. But if your baby is okay when you're pulling something above their head, then definitely I will suggest to buy these rompers that have buttons only in the button of outfit. I also noticed that having her arms and legs more free seems to encourage movements. She can kick, roll and explore much more easily. Because of the heat what we have now, our walks also have been changed. So Olivia have 3-day naps, and during the second one we usually went for the walks, but now we change and we are going to the first one when sun it's not so hot. But it took some time to adjust because she won't used to sleep outside during that nap, and it takes some adjustment because sometimes she was too early waking up and our walks wasn't so long as previously. But now we're slowly finding our new rhythm out. If in the beginning our walks was before she wakes up like 30 minutes, then now we can go for 1 hour. Also now I'm bringing with myself always sling in the case if she wakes up and she do not want to stay in her stroller, because there was a situation when she woke up and then she start to cry in her stroller and I need to pick her up and also move stroller, and it wasn't so comfortable for me. Olivia became so much playful. Now playing with her, I also get her reaction. She smiles, she reaches for the toy, she tried to give me her toys. So also she wants to participate in things what I'm doing. So previously I was making something in the kitchen and I put her in the bouncer, that now she not so interested be sitting there. She wants that I give her some spoons, some another things, so she can also like participate in this process. I started to create little toy setup around her while she are on the floor and letting her to choose what interests her. She also rotating on her tummy and trying very hard to move toward things. This definitely encourage her for movement. I wouldn't call it crawling yet, but definitely she's working on that. Her arms are doing most of the work while her legs are still figuring things out, and I think crawling might be closer than I expected. Naturally, I felt myself comparing Olivia to Paula. because for me, Paula is my personal benchmark how baby should be developing. And sometimes I do not expect that they will be developing the same, but I see that there are differences. Oldest daughter Paula, she always was this visual kid. She like to observe things. So when I put her in the playmat, she can look on the toys and maybe a bit touch. And even now when she is older, she still are these visual kinds. When I'm making her food, she needs to understand what kind I make it, what are inside that food. Otherwise she won't eat. She's from those kids from who you will make this pancake, rabbits and bears. But Olivia, on the other hand, are different. She is hands-on baby. She likes to grab things, to explore them, to put them to mouth, to understand what it is. And honestly, I think it's the biggest difference why Olivia's development feels a bit faster than that was Paula's. Because if Paula need first absorb things to see how they work, so she was a bit careful before starting to do something, then Olivia, she just do things. She don't think, she just tried and tried. Some smaller things what I want to share with you, what I feel, and also I don't want to forget them because they are really cute. One of them, she started to make bubbles with her mouth. From one side cute, from another side disgusting, but still cute. Other thing, she found her ear and she tries to pull it and understand what it's are, so it's so cute. And last one, also she found her legs, but legs she can't put in her mouth, so now she's grabbing her legs and sucking in her mouth, and this is so cute. Think what we have with her. And this is those small moments what you want to remember with your kids, how they're pulling their ears, how they are putting her leg in their mouth, because they're growing so fast. And you know, I'm just really love that now we have phones when we can capture this moment to remember and also to show them. She woke up for her day sleep. Let's see, can we squeeze this video now, or I will need to film a bit later. This month we officially started solid food at age 4.5. After discussing with our pediatricians, we decided that Olivia has all signs of the readiness. We wait 3 days between new products so we can watch for any reaction. Everything is served as a puree because she is very young. The first time she tried food, she absolutely loved. Wide open mouth, ready for more. Then the next day, she seemed completely uninterested. And so I thought that maybe we will need to pause or solid foods. But still, I give a try one more day and she again was interested. So we proceed, and if a situation, if she will refuse food, also on the next day, I will pause solid food for the few more weeks. And I think it's very important that if you want to start feeding your baby with solid foods, that you need to realize that if they refuse food, then you need to pause this process a bit. Also, I'm not running with these solid foods like new products in each 3 days. I really like that this process is not rushed, that we produce new products, but also we repeat what she's eating. So if there was only zucchini, then pumpkin, then I will mix with them. And I really like this approach that I don't need to think what is the next product where I need her to give. So it gives also me to time to enjoy this process of solid foods, because it's like really messy and my brain is constantly thinking, can I give her this to my child, how I should give her, so how I should prepare it. And I really like that I don't rush myself. One of the biggest emotional moments for me during this month was my breastfeeding journey ending. For those who are following me along, then you most probably know that I was triple feeding, so nursing, pumping and giving formula for my baby. And honestly, this was like really exhausting, but still my goal was 6 months. With my other daughter, I made only 2.5 months, so for me this 6 months felt like something like really huge. And as undersupplied, it was even more desire to have this journey at least for 6 months. But gradually my milk supply dropped and it kept decreasing each day. Also, Olivia rejected nursing, so if previously she didn't want to be nursed during the night, then also she stopped to be nursing during the night. And this month I was left only with these two options, pump and formula, and I was pumping 4 times a day, and each time I got like 10 milliliters. And then you're realizing that that amount, what are you pumping during whole day, it's not enough even for one meal of your child. It's so discouraging. So I had in my head this thought that soon I will need to finish, but I didn't know when, so I was trying. I drink even more water, I start even eat more, maybe I eat too small, but actually that wasn't like true. Then I also tried some tea, but nothing worked. One day I was pumping and I saw like 3 drops, and then I pumped again like on the next day, and still these 3 drop. And I understand that for me this process is ended, and I feel sad and disappointment because I was so much looking that I need to reach this goal of 6 months that I didn't even took this idea in my head, and I can end breastfeeding, this nurturing pumping process faster. And also I think in my head I had voice from some medical worker in the hospital. So when Olivia was only born and we have this each morning checkup, then doctor asked how long I was breastfeeding my first daughter, and I said 2.5 months, and you know her face, it showed everything. It was just 2.5. You should try much longer. And I think I had her voice, and also this push what we have from this society, then woman needs to breastfeed their baby. And so I think that these was things what make this process so sad for me. And honestly, if some another mom would say that she breastfeed her baby only for 2-3 months, or that she don't nurse at all, for me it will be okay, I will accept. But for myself, I make this goal, and honestly now time is past and I feel so relieved. I don't need every time to think that I need to pump, that time is clicking, that now is 12 o'clock, I need to pump, and I have this extra time in my life. So it's now so much relief, because moms who are triple feeding or just pumping or nursing, it's so tough. In this journey it's not easy. For me it's not naturally, it's like I need to push myself to do it. So now I feel so relieved. Anyway, I'm proud that I managed these 5 months. It was tough for me, it wasn't something what naturally come for me, but I'm glad that I managed. Yes, it's not 6 months, it's just 5, but I'm proud. I did a good job. A few days after I stopped pump, my period returned, and wow, I forget that feeling. I really forget how it was. So having period back was so interesting experience to have, and also it's arrived without any pain. So just one day I saw that it started, but what surprised me how long they was, like 10 days. I was a bit scared, but also I got information that it's normal that your first period after pregnancy is that long time, but still I will see how the next month long will it be. Will it go back to my normal schedule? If not, then I will definitely reach my OB. But yes, I'm officially back in my cycle club. In this month I start more struggle with my body image. As I'm not nursing so much my baby and pumping also ended, then I don't have any more this reason why my body are so unpleasant. When I was nursing her, I knew that I can have this extra weight and after it will be gone, but now it's overwhelming. And also I noticed that sometimes I skipping mirror, I didn't want to look at myself, and it's so hard to now accept myself because we have these old standards from society and for ourselves, and I know that this is not healthy how we're looking now. but also for me it's so hard to accept that I need to work to be my pre-pregnancy weight. Regarding to weight, there I definitely need to start something new, and I have some plan in my head. I hope that it will work, because I don't want to stuck in this body. Also, I know how it's hard for me. So one thing what I'm really grateful this month that I start therapy. So in my postpartum journey, I experienced postpartum rage. There was some moments when I felt so angry and I just could blow at smallest thing, and then I felt guilt and I cried and I felt sad, and with each month my postpartum rage was more and more often coming. So now I started therapy, and now I understand a bit more things. And also for me, what's surprising that I have some expectation for my postpartum, because I felt that I don't have, because I'm second time mom. I know how postpartum should look, but I had some expectation but didn't succeed. As now I'm on maternity leave and my income have dropped like a quiet, I can't afford this therapy like every week, so I'm going once per 2 weeks. So I want that this will be my long-term support. Still, it's better, and I'm really grateful that I saw that I need this help, and right now that why this postpartum rage didn't roll over to something bigger like postpartum depression, because I think with my first daughter I most probably had it, but I didn't went for some specialists, I didn't went to some therapy. But looking back, I understand that most probably there was it. That's why I had this unpleasant first time postpartum experience, because of my mental state. Although I really enjoy to be mom of the Paula. I enjoy these all moments of when she was newborn baby and infant, but still I remember my emotional state during that postpartum, and it was hard. And I think that's why once the reason why Olivia come after only 8 years, that I need to need this long recovery, because then I didn't ask help. Another challenge of this month was that Olivia wants me. So she wants that I'm holding her. If I put her on floor or on her crib or bouncer, then she straight immediately cried. If I give her to my husband after 5 minutes, or immediately she start crying. So this month she wanted only me. I also discovered this term as a Velcro baby. So maybe she is that kind of baby, I'm not sure, but this was really hard, that all the time you need to hold your baby. Also, we have more contact now because of that. And I was so glad that I have sling. So when I need to get some things down around the house, I can wear her and have my hands free. But carrying a growing baby all day definitely isn't helping my back. One highlight from this month was that we with all family went to Riga. So we're not living in the district, so we trained there for half a day, so it was longer time with baby when we not at home. We get like really tired during this trip, but also we really enjoyed, because we change this scene what we see each day, because most of time we are in our city, in our home. Especially for me, I'm like stuck in here. I'm really great that we was going all together, because it wasn't easy, because some of the parts of the city they not accessible for strollers, and also when you're going outside for longer time period, you need to plan a lot of things ahead. That so if it's too cold, if it's too warm, and also taking water for formula. So there is a lot of thinking process with me, but also it gave me this courage and idea that I should try also go with Olivia somewhere, maybe alone, or just take both girls and have this experience, because now my husband is working through the summer, and maybe I just need somewhere to go to kids and not to wait when he will be free. And also I'm so happy that I took with myself sling, because Olivia wasn't sleeping like 80% of the time. So here slings also help us, and later we use stroller as some carriage where to put our shopping guide. So that was our 5th month postpartum. A month filled with rolling, new foods, doctor appointments, summer changes, emotional changes, and saying goodbye to breastfeeding journey. I'm also excited to see what next month brings, as now will be summer and all 3 months Paula will be home, so no school for her, and so for me it's first summer with 2 kids. If you are also in your postpartum journey, I would love to know how are you feeling? What insights do you have? Are you enjoying this time or also find challenging, or it's a mix of both? Thank you so much for being with me and spending this time together, and see you in next video. Bye! Ai, kas tik negaidīs. Ai, tu gribi? Tu gribi spēlēties ar mammu? Vai uztaisīsim putruņi?